Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a 7-year disaster battle playing as the war host of the apocalypse, where we've got an army commanded by a Tzeentch demon prince, with half an army of aspiring champions, the other half Doom Knights of Tzeentch, going up against what looks like a Barak Var endgame crisis army, because I don't ever see the AI recruit stuff like this, especially with all this experience. It definitely looks like something that an endgame crisis would spawn. Anyway, he's been caught in force march. Battle results in auto-resolve his decisive defeat. Let's see what we can do here. Now, I believe that the Tzeentch Demon Prince is actually really good. People have been saying they're really good, because they've got quite significantly reduced Winds of Magic costs. I believe some spells used to be free, but maybe the patch fixed it. I'm not entirely sure. But it looks like he's been geared up a lot as well. So there's a lot of artillery in here, but the Doom Knights of Tzeentch should be able to handle that fairly well. It's just a matter of getting to them without getting obliterated. We don't want to do that too early, because they'll be surrounded by hammerers or whatever. So what we need to do is try to get the artillery separated from their main army. The aspiring champions have got their Gates of Tzeentch, which is super handy, but we should not be using that at the start. So I'm just going to keep them there to begin with, and just send up the Demon Prince just to begin with. The great thing about Tzeentch characters with the Forbidden Rod is that it uses up barrier, which of course you just get back. Gives us a bit of extra wins. So what I want to do here is not necessarily waste their ammo, but just keep the artillery shooting at us, so they're far away from the rest of their units. And then it's just a matter of which spell should we use. Should we use Gehenna's Golden Hounds, or should we use Infernal Gateway? Gehenna's Golden Hounds is cheaper. We might be able to utilize this terrain to our advantage. What I might do is pop down the Gehenna's Golden Hounds to begin with. It probably won't do that much damage, but it's only a few Winds of Magic. If we can get them to blob up around here, then we'll put like an overcasted Infernal Gateway and absolutely smash them. Also got this ability here, Arcane Flight. As long as we have more than 15 Winds of Magic, we'll get 10% Mastery, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's better than nothing. Okay. So that spell did not do very much at all against them. Nothing we could have done to deny enemy reinforcements there. Alright, so what I'm looking for here is a nice big blob for me to Infernal Gateway them.
Unbridled chaos! I'm moving. Interesting. Move!
Still not seeing any great places to cast here. That's okay.
Acceptable.
At least we've got their artillery busy for now. But it looks like they want to go fairly wide, which is not what I want them to do. A little bit of a blob. That's not really much of one.
Of course. Striding out.
None of these blobs are amazing. Yeah. It's only 6 Winds of Magic. Hopefully it'll do better than the previous one. Yeah, the problem with these Vortex spells is that they now move seemingly more randomly than it did in Warhammer 2, making them kind of unreliable. They used to be a lot more reliable in Warhammer 2. Right, I'm just going to put a regular one down, not overcast it. Just need to start doing some damage to them. Haven't done much yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, that spell's already done way better than Gehenna's Golden Hounds.
Acceptable. Total power.
But yeah, this barrier on this Demon Prince is really coming in handy here. Alright, so look at that. Yeah, that was alright. I'll be a little bit careful with the
Striding out.
Forbidden Rod. Don't want to end up getting all of our barrier used up.
Keep moving.
Okay, what I might be able to do is pop down a summon of Chaos Spawn here. Getting the blob up a bit and then overcast the damn spell. Because I really want to get like a huge amount of damage in on them. See something forming over here. Might as well give them a bit of a boost of melee defense.
Interesting. The spell is cast. Keep moving.
Alright, that did heaps of damage. That's what we wanted to see there. Just cast that just because we're waiting for the recharge. Okay, now let's start getting the Doom Knights around this way here. See if we can flank the artillery a bit. But they're coming at us in a really disorganized fashion. Actually, you know what? Send some of them around this way. We'll go some this way, this way. They did okay as well.
Acceptable. Yet to stop.
Okay, another Infernal Gateway in here would be awesome. Which we overcast it for maximum damage. Right, quick. Cast it now. There we go. Hit like 3 units. That's what I was hoping for. Alright, so now we've done 47,000 damage. That's what we wanted to see. Okay. Seems like some of the missile units aren't focusing on our Demon Prince here. It's okay. Oh look, some of the shots are hitting into their back there. Nice. Okay, go around over this way.
Striding out.
Okay, we've got a fair bit of artillery lagging at the rear here. God, one hit that loses its damn barrier.
Acceptable. Hordes of chaos.
Of course, if they weren't caught on force march, they'd be a lot faster.
I am ascending.
It's that one there, but I don't have another summon to pop down on it. There's isolated units over here. They're specifically targeting you. You back off a little bit. Okay.
Go! Knights. Demon Prince.
You get around their back here. Thing is, if we land and there's like hammerers near there, that's not going to be good for us. We've got to go for the ones that are really poorly defended. Go for them first, rather than the ones that are really well defended.
Bringing doom. Knights of Tzeentch. Men of the North. They die.
Still getting shot in from that. Oh, right, yeah. Long range cannon shooting at him.
Prince.
Okay. This is pretty good here.
Dark God.
They've just got so much artillery.
Within my
I don't know how much torpedoes shooting at us, but it's okay.
Chaos comes. Hordes of chaos. Eviscerate
Good, a whole bunch of artillery got wiped out. Let's pull out of that before get too badly wrecked. Okay, you got your barrier back. Get over here. This one's isolated. Let's get rid of that. Freaking cannon unit in here somewhere. There it is. That needs to go. Right, get back. Everyone's getting them back up. Because that one there is getting quite a bit of damage in us. Okay, there's a reasonable opportunity for Infernal Gateway. And it's not that good.
acceptable.
Fuck it, I'm gonna take it. No, I'm not.
Chaos.
Yes, I am.
Move.
Back off over here. Yeah, it was alright. It's getting kills. It's not doing tons of damage. It was already damaged. Okay, but okay. So we really want to be doing hit and runs with these, so that we keep getting our barrier back. Don't want to leave them in prolonged combat. Okay, now these ones over here are quite isolated. There we go. There's the cannons I need to get rid of. Good. Good, good, good. Try to get rid of all their artillery.
Demon Prince, bringing doom.
He's all bloodied, but he hasn't actually lost any hit points yet.
Chaos comes. Striding out. Interesting. Go. Darkness.
Good. Good, good, good. This is all working out really nicely out here.
Champion of the gods. Dark power. Acceptable.
Right, get back, get back.
Corruption. Rage and fury.
Over here, over here. Cool.
Prey.
We can also regenerate with him as well, with regenerating flesh. Alright, we got shit about to come down over here. We've taken out most of the enemy artillery. Not all of it, though. But their army's completely disorganized, so that definitely gives us a big advantage. Good, taking out all these artillery. The Doom Knights of Tzeentch have done a big favor for us here. Still got to take out the other artillery over here. They're damaged, but they're not out yet.
Men of the North. I'm moving. Doom Knights.
Yeah, take out that Iron Drake there.
Destruction. Within my power.
Get over here. See if you can annoy them a little bit more. Alright, we're gonna get out of here. Get over this way. Like I said, hit and runs. Take out their artillery. Still haven't gotten rid of those cannons yet. That's okay, just go back and get them. You don't want to stay in prolonged combat when there are high damages come up your rear. Oop, taking too much damage there. This one's basically out of the fight. Okay, time for some gates of Tzeentch. That'll do for now. Get that one out of there.
Chaos. Slaves to darkness. War. For the dark gods. Chaos come.
Yeah, try to let these guys here tank as much damage as possible. Let's get them all out of the way. There. Good. And here, have some more gates of the, what's it called? Infernal Gateway. How are we going over here? Yep.
Knights of Tzeentch. Men of the North.
Yeah, just hang back, hang on back. Alright. Charge him in. So yeah, the pink horrors were just useful for keeping him busy just for a little bit there.
Exalted hero of God, as desired.
Good, really picking him apart over here. He's back.
Demon Prince.
Now, these guys here have all got regeneration, but they're not going to revive entities, so watch out for that a bit. Good, yeah, the pink horrors have soaked up so much of that initial damage. That was really good. Okay, now let's try to get these guys back around over here. Don't worry too much about the artillery now. This is where the fight's happening.
I don't fail. Slanesh, hear my call. Total power.
So I believe this Slanesh War Shrine is kind of a mortis engine. Alright, that's it. Get these guys over here, hit them in the rear. Okay, we're taking some serious damage here. The aspiring champions so far are okay. They're just... their barrier's all gone. Only minimal casualties so far. This guy's taking a fair bit of damage. Guns. Get out of here. Luckily, they're mostly trying to get rid of the Demon Prince. but he's super tanky, so they're not really doing a good job of it.
Slaves to darkness.
So it's taking too much damage, get it out. Same thing with this one, just get it out, take too much damage.
Yes! Unleash magic!
Just try to keep as many units pinned down as possible until they arrive.
Knights. Eviscerate them!
And the great thing about what they've done there is they made sure there was just no artillery support, because that would have done a ton of damage to us. Honestly, the Iron Drakes here, they're really not hurting us that much.
Sorcerer of Slanesh. Over there. Done! It is done! Indeed, my prince. Tzeentch's many glories.
Boy, I tell you what, that War Shrine took a ton of damage. They really went for it.
Men of the North.
Good, we're ripping this to shreds. And then these guys here are just going to arrive way too late. It's going to be... We'll have recharged our barrier. These guys here,
Herald of
can't really use them now.
indulgence.
Doesn't matter, there's... No, it's not the army losses yet. That's what it was.
Chaos comes.
Iron Drake's getting ripped to shreds here.
Time
Nice.
to despoil. Behold, Tzeentch. Dark power. Destroy them. What?
This is
Kill them
tons of
all.
bounce power. There we go, there's the army losses. So yeah, I'm not sure what this guy did. Maybe he tried to use all of his army all at the same time. Which would have been an absolute catastrophe. Going ahead, attacking this head first, we never would have won that. We had to goof them up as much as possible, which is why I sent the Demon Prince out there to just make their army super confused. You see how they just stretched their army out all over the place? Allowed us to pick at their weaknesses, which were all over the place. You know, they had artillery undefended just about everywhere, and then when the main attack came, it was kind of a wet noodle.
Knights of Tzeentch.
Not done yet, there's still some slayers.
Skull throne.
These ones here don't get away.
Running. Now goes pestilent glory.
But yeah, the Tzeentch Demon Prince, not too bad.
Will be despoiled. Men
These damn slayers. Oh, yeah, but they're gonna kill my
Doom nuts.
dudes if I don't get rid of them now.
Unbridled chaos. Dark power. Witness me, gods. Army of the dark gods.
Funnily enough, I think the units that took the most damage was like the Chaos War Shrine. The AI really tries to go after this unit. Really quite hard. You need a lot of missile resistance on it.
Knights.
And this guy here, I think he just got surrounded by a bunch of hammerers. Yeah, he did a decent amount of damage though.
Hordes of chaos. The North decides.
Good. And we'll just see if we can get a bunch more kills. But I think that went fairly well. The unit that took the most damage, apart from the heroes, is this one here, because it was getting shot by the cannons. But everything gained a ton of experience as well. Like, well, most of them were already max experience, but these two here weren't, and gained a fair bit. I guess when it comes down to, like, if you're going to build an army like this, you got to understand its strengths and weaknesses. You know, you don't want to just YOLO straight into an enemy if it gave you a decisive defeat in the auto-resolver. You've got to split them up and pick at their weaknesses, because you've got the speed advantage here, especially against dwarves. I keep telling people, dwarves are the easiest opponent to fight if you know what you're doing. Because they're so slow that they don't understand what you're doing before it's too late. Most of the time. You know, sometimes they're just simply too strong, you can't overcome it. But your army was really strong. You just couldn't fight two armies at the same time. So you had to make sure, and we did, that we weren't fighting two armies at the same time. Because half their army was, at any given time, not in combat. Alright, what do you want here? Do you want some replenishment or... Look, I don't know what's going on with you in the campaign map. I kind of get this feeling like if this is the endgame crisis, you might get attacked again, so maybe some replenishment makes a bit more sense. It's not that much money in the grand scheme of things.
We can always use.
Yeah, this was definitely the dwarf endgame crisis. You would never see this many armies of Karakazorn, because this faction would be dead by now. It's definitely the grudge too far. You know, I can tell you got a ton of territory over here. This is what happens in a Warriors of Chaos campaign. The map turns into a fucking rainbow. Because of all your damn vassals. Interesting how they're avoiding your settlement there. But yeah, that definitely looks like a grudge too far. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Apparently that's one of the worst ones to go up against because it like gives all of the minor factions a ton of armies as well. Whereas you go the biggest war as an example. What's this? Yeah, you do the biggest war as an example. It only brings back the legendary lords. So where was that army? Well, gotta be around Barak Vast somewhere. Was this it there?
Daemon.
Yeah. Okay, you just about fully recovered from that fight, so you should be able to push on and continue it. Looking at... Let's have a look here. It doesn't actually say up here. It's definitely the grudge too far. If we have a look at him. Oh, you know what I think he's done? I kind of feel like this is Ultimate Crisis mode. Do you know why I think that? Because the Sentinels, how are they strength ranking 1? Right? If they aren't an in-game crisis. But then... this one's also super strong. Yep. Then, what elves are also super strong? Right? The vampires are super strong. Yeah, I think he's gone with the Ultimate Crisis endgame here. That's interesting. That's interesting. Alright, cool. Well, the campaign seems to be going pretty well, despite that. I mean, your strength ranking 2 in an endgame crisis situation. You've got plenty of territory, money's good, loads of armies. All seems fine. And yeah, this was a pretty damn good army. I was able to make some good use out of it, I think. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.